Hey, hon. Can I have your garage spot for a couple days to work on the new Jeep? Wow.
Oh.
That was a test. You truly are the best wife ever. Hush, woman. It's in. Now the fun part begins. Now that we got it in the garage, just gonna assess it. First thing I want to do before I decide what I'm doing with it is see if she'll run. It's been sitting a long time. I think it looks worse than it is. That's just all the undercoating and paint, layers of paint peeling off. But get her cranking over and see if she'll come to life. I know the starter, the Bendix isn't moving, so I got to pull the starter and get that freed up so it will actually crank over, and we'll go from there. On a side note, check out this goodie I just got. There's my old vise, just a little 4-inch vise, and I just picked this bad boy up on Marketplace. If you know what brand it is, I'm curious to know the history of it. It just says 1674, doesn't really have any name on it. So I also got this little PTO rear drum gearbox and the rear PTO gearbox. So I'm gonna need one of these. Unfortunately, it is cracked, but the gear reduction housing is good and the drum is good. I also got the shaft for it, so that might go in this Jeep depending on what we end up doing with it. Anytime you're working on these old flatheads, before you pull any of the plugs out, take compressed air and really blow out all those spark plug dimples. Water, mouse poop, whatever sits down in there. So once you blow it out, then I take the wrench and crack them loose and then blow them out again, because all that rust. So I already blew them out. Now watch this. That's from breaking them loose. I don't know if you can see that rust dust go flying. So you don't want that falling down inside your cylinders. So and as you keep turning them out, keep blowing them out, so that way there's nothing left in there to fall down. You can even take a little wire brush before you pull them out and get all that rust dust out of there. It's a stupid design, because when you hose it off too, or if you drive in the rain, they just fill up. You can see water just sits in there. And this Jeep was stored indoors, so strange design. Well, successfully got all the plugs out, and they don't look half bad. A couple of them even had some anti-seize on them, so that's a good sign that someone actually sort of cared. And they don't look oil soaked. They look pretty good. So we'll throw a little anti-seize on them, and I pulled them out so I can crank the engine over by hand easier, just to feel if anything sticks. When it sits as long as this has, you can get some like rust ridges on the rings and the cylinders. So we'll see how she spins. Well, I got the starter pulled out. This is a foot actuated starter, and the motor sounds good, but the one-way drive or Bendix or whatever you call this piece, it just spins. It doesn't engage far enough. Like you can hold on to that. It doesn't kick it out and lock in. So luckily I have an old school local starter guy. I'll probably take it to him because I can't really do much. I don't have this style starter on hand to try it, so that's where we're at. This is one thing I love about living in the back country with country people. I call my starter guy, and he's just like, yeah, bring it over. I'm not doing anything right now. So load it up, take it over. Well, he had the parts on the shelf, so I think he said he'll have it done tomorrow. Hopefully that's all it needs. Gotta grab a battery, and hopefully we'll get some life out of it tomorrow. Well, that's where we're gonna leave it for today. It's gonna start raining here soon. I got everything put away. Get that new starter, or fixed starter, thrown in there tomorrow. Battery, and see if we can get her to fire up. If the engine's in good shape and sounds good and drives okay around the yard, then we'll start digging deeper. I'm really interested to pull this galvanized sheet metal off of there and see what's left of the original tub. Also found it interesting, it's kind of hard to see the engine, and once I pulled the starter off, the flywheel, even inside the bell housing, is this funky blue color. You can see the fan has that on there too, so I wonder if that was a Navy thing or if somebody just sprayed a bunch of blue paint on everything. But the fact that the inside of the bell housing and the flywheel are that color has me wondering. So stay tuned for the next part. Hopefully start filming that tomorrow. Catch you later.